Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 132 for Tuesday, the 9th of August 2022. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag, PSN ID, Steam ID, Webby, 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Mr. Peebs, resident Chivo and Trophy Hall.
Big fights back 2 weeks in a row. I'm sorry in advance.
And Sensei Switch always here.
Nice to have you all back. Anyway, so before we hit the record button, we were briefly just talking about Bing points. And I've been doing my Bing points a lot every single day. But there's one in particular that I hate doing, but I have to do it because it's worth 250 points a day. And that is to log in to Fortnite via cloud gaming every day. And then you have to just leave. I just leave it with my dude standing in the menu until it pops up on my phone that I've got the reward. But it's the fact that people think I'm playing Fortnite. It's so embarrassing.
How long does it take, usually?
About 5 minutes.
Oh, right.
Is that why you didn't join my game when I sent you an invite the other day?
I didn't even see you sent me an invite, mate, to be honest. Yeah, so I do that every day because obviously you got your Bing points on the browser, but on your phone, if you use the Xbox app on your phone, it gives you stuff to do every day for points. One of them is to log on to Fortnite. One of them is to play a PC game. One of them is to play the stupid Duel game as well. So I do those every single day. Yeah, it's like Bejeweled, yeah.
It's all about hexing, mate.
Yeah, and the other one is to just log into the app every day, so I'll make sure I do that every day. So, yeah.
Is that backwards compatible?
What's that? Hexic or Bejeweled? Hexic, yeah. You can play Hexic it's on my list.
That was the game that was bundled with your 360, wasn't it?
It was, and I loved it, man. I was hooked on that for a while. Oh. Okay. So, we're going to do the same as we've been doing the last few weeks. Just talk about a game each at a time. I'm really enjoying it that way. It keeps it flowing. No one's staying quiet for too long. Living the dream. So, I'm going to go first because I'm the best and everyone wants to hear what I have to say all the time. Yeah. Okay, so... I'm just going to get straight into it just to get the game that everyone hates me talking about all the time for the last 9 years. Final Fantasy XIV. I've been getting swept into it quite a bit the last week, really. I still haven't finished the latest story content yet, but I delved off and did some of the other main I don't know if you could call it a main side quest, really, for the new raid, and I did that today, and that was very enjoyable. So
very different from the other ones as well, I think.
I liked it because it's like gods. It kind of reminded me of Valhalla in a way, with all their kind of gods, you know what I mean? So
sort of, yeah, it's the mythological gods.
Yeah.
Feels, yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that, actually, and the music was amazing. Absolutely fantastic. And then a big surprise to me as well is my mate Dave, who you guys have met. He rang me yesterday saying that he wanted to get into the game, so I've spent quite a bit of time the last few days just in Discord chat, just talking about the game, trying to get him into it, and then a couple of other people in his Discord have also decided to start playing at the same time as well. So got like 3 new recruits to the server, all logged in today, and they're starting their adventure, which is pretty cool.
If they do actually decide to pick it up and carry on with it, try and get that refer a friend thing sorted for you, because you'll get rewarded for them subbing. You'll be able to get mounts and things like that, and they'll get some bits as well, like starter gear.
Oh, right, but does it, I mean, because they're just doing the free trial at the moment, so Can I still do the
it'd
refer a
only
friend?
work if.
Oh, okay.
I think you can do the refer a friend, and it will add them like as their names in game or whatever.
Right.
But then you'll only get rewarded when they actually sub.
Oh, right. Because I think you can get up to level 60 without subbing now. I think that's how it works.
I know that the free trial goes all the way through to the end of the first expansion.
End of Heaven's Ward, yeah. Yeah, so...
a hell of a lot.
That is a lot of content, over 100 hours easily. But yeah, I'm just enjoying back because, as I said before, it's one of those games I don't play it hardcore, but when I get into it, I really get into it. But like every time I play it, I feel like I'm coming back home. It gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling inside. You know, I've played it for 9 years since it's just come out. Obviously, me and my missus are married in game on it. My missus is actually. I've had to download it on the PlayStation 5 yesterday because she wants to start playing it again now. So, but PlayStation's so annoying, right? So I went on to Final Fantasy 14 on the PlayStation, and I just clicked on it and I started to download it, and then it was downloading. I was sitting there thinking, I'm sure Darren has told me that there's a PlayStation 5 version of this. So I did a search. And you have to go through loads of fucking hidden shitty menus on the game just to download the PS5 version of the game.
I think so. And then before she plays the PS5 version, she wants to log in on her PS4 version and upload her character settings.
Oh my god.
Because otherwise she'll have to reset up all of her hotbars, all of her individual classes and all.
Oh, can't you just download it if you've uploaded it? Because she hasn't played it on the PS5 at all, so she's probably lost it all anyway unless she's uploaded it.
I was going to say, if it's on the PS4, if she just logs in through the PS4 version,
right,
and then like on your login screen, it should be one of the options in the top right hand corner.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You upload your data, character data. Basically.
Yeah, but it's just annoying because then you have 2 versions of the same game installed on your bloody console, which is just pathetic. You know what I mean? It's just very silly.
It's still reasonably small, I will say. It's about.
That's what
I think the PS5 version's about 60 something.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's quite reasonable. But so the way that I've set it up is I've got 2 monitors on my PC desk, so I've made a little bit of extra room because my second monitor's on an arm. So PS5 connected to the second monitor, I can push it back. And then she can sit next to me when I'm playing it on the PC when she's playing on the PS5. So it's a pretty cool way of playing it, you know?
Mm.
So,
but yeah, just make sure like you double check all of that, like the transferring your character data from PS4 to PS5.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a bit of a ball ache.
Yeah, I had to redo all my fucking hotbars and screens and that a couple of weeks ago.
Well, yeah, you would have done because
so
it would
annoying.
You'd have been transferring from the PlayStation to the PC version as well.
No, on mine, on the PC. No, on mine. I've been on the PC for years, haven't I? But I forgot to upload it all. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? Because I'd uninstalled it because I'd reinstalled Windows on my PC when I did my upgrade. So then I had to redo everything on Final Fantasy. It took me ages. But I'm back to where I was now. It's one of those things because like your muscle memory, like when you're in a dungeon, your muscle memory takes over. So where certain actions are on your hotbars, right? And then I hadn't so I was in a dungeon and I hadn't put some of them in the same place where I had before because I'd forgotten where I'd put them. But then when I was in a dungeon, I was instinctively going to a certain area, or pressing certain buttons to do certain actions. And it wasn't doing them because I put them in the wrong places. So I spent a lot of the dungeon like moving them around. So it's a little bit annoying, but I'm back to where I should be now. But so, yeah, it's a great game, man.
Problems.
Yeah, and it's nice to see some new faces coming on there, and it's still very busy. Every time I go on it, I have to queue up. Not for long, but there's always a queue to get in, and it's good to see that the game is very healthy.
In the mornings, I queue to get in sometimes.
Yeah, so it's nice to see it healthy. The guild is still like this very active as well, and yeah, I love it, man. Loving being back on it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So, Peebs.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Oh, the game that I have been playing mostly this week and completed is Stray.
Oh, I can tick this off my list as well.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question before
Yes.
you get into this?
Mm.
Did you have to use a walkthrough for any of it? Because I did, because I'm a nub. Because some bits I've just found a bit frustrating.
I think I used one once when I was trying to find an area to go to next. That was it. I haven't used it for anything apart from trying to get some trophies. But that was after I completed it.
Because I remember there was a section where you had to get like this robot. You had to sneak into this warehouse and you had to get him a hat and a vest. And I was like, what the fuck do I do this? Because you had to like go and get the musical tape and all that, and you know, I was just like, I was stuck on that for ages. But
you've got to wake the guy up in the back of the bar, haven't you? Yeah.
It's a good puzzle game.
Yeah, I loved it, and it's been the first game in a long time that I couldn't put down, and when I've been at work, I've been thinking about when I get back, I want to put it on, and I haven't had a game like that for ages.
Oh wow, that's really good to hear.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It just really captivated me, this game, and I just think it looks beautiful. It's just a bit different because you're controlling a cat, especially when you get to like the Midtown area when it's all like neon lights everywhere.
Yeah.
I love that area. That area is just so visually stunning, and but yeah, the premise is you're this cat and I don't really get the story. Is it like they're underground, aren't they? And they're trying to get out.
Yeah, underground robots. You're like in this sealed underground city, these robots. And because the human race has died out, so all that's left is the robots that are like people, really. And then the robot that's in your backpack is like, it's the kind of the brain of a scientist, and he put himself in a computer and now he's in the robot. You know, but like the main story is like, obviously you're the cat at the beginning of the game falls down this big hole underground, and the cat wants to get back out into the world. So that's really the main story, but then the other part of the story is helping out the robots to get out of this enclosed city.
Because it's quite linear, but then there are open areas as well, aren't there? Sort of, there's I think about 10 chapters, and then some chapters are quite linear, and then other chapters you've got an open area where you can go and explore. There is a trophy for completing the game in 2 hours, which seems quite.
Well, now if you know what you're doing, I suppose you can run through it. I mean, I did it in about 4-ish.
Really? I think it took me about 8.
Oh wow!
I was exploring and looking around. I was trying to get all the. I was trying to get as many trophies as I could. Like there's the memories. I had to go back and get one memory.
Oh, okay.
That was annoying. But yeah, and then there's scratch posts and then there's little quests you can do for the robots. You don't have to do them, but you have to do some to progress, but not all of them. But yeah, I just really love the game, and I think I don't know whether to go and try and do the 2-hour playthrough speed run. There's plenty of speed runs on YouTube, but yeah, I think you could do it if you just concentrate on the main missions and just and don't explore, as long as you know where you're going.
Yeah,
you should be able to do it. But yeah, great game. Definitely recommend it. I think this is a PX exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also on PC. But I did actually see something online this week about this game. It will come to Xbox apparently. There's only a timed exclusive on the PlayStation.
Oh, I see.
But there's probably a year. So next year it'll probably be on Game Pass. And they have to do it all over again for the Chivos, mate.
Yeah, well, it won't bother me because if I haven't played it for about a year, it'd be quite nice to go back to it actually and play it again.
If it's a relatively short game as well, it's not too bad.
Yeah. And I actually quite liked it that it wasn't a long ass game as well. It's quite refreshing, I feel, to play shorter games like this, to be honest. Because it's a great game, and the gameplay, like, because there is different gameplay mechanics throughout the game. Like, there's a section of the game where you have like a purple UV light to kill these certain enemies, but that's only lasts for a short portion of the game. and then things change up again. And that's actually quite nice because nothing stays for too long. It doesn't outstay its welcome, right? So you don't really get bored of it. And as I say, the puzzles I think are really well done. Yeah, I think it's a really well done game. I absolutely loved it, and it's just interesting because like the little robot kind of talks for the cat. It's just really cool the way it's done.
Yeah, it's quite just a nice, like, unique type game. You know, I've not really experienced anything like it, and it's just. I think the game's really done well graphically. It's just a nice story, and it's just a really good game.
Yeah,
really glad I came across it.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Is it released this year? Was it this game, or is it an old game?
No,
PC
it's
game?
brand new. Yeah, it's brand new, mate.
So,
yeah.
All right, so it could be a contention for Game of the Year for me so far. I wasn't sure if it was an older game, like one of these that's been on PC for a few years and then just come to console.
No, it's brand new, man. Brand new.
Oh, right, yeah. So, Game of the Year contender for me.
Excellent. That's some high praise.
Yeah.
Okay. Nick.
Yeah, so I've had this for a while, as most of my games I've had for a while, and I just felt like just playing something sort of leave me alone sort of thing, but so I was put in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Okay, nice.
Because, I mean, I've played them all up until, what was the Egypt one? Odyssey? No. Origins, yeah. And I just got completely burnt out with them because, I mean, they released one, every year near enough for ages?
Valhalla's what you've been playing, yeah?
Yeah, the newest one. I skipped the one before that.
Yeah.
And, it was all right. I mean, it looks really good, and it was nice, like, the combat, like, chopping their arms and heads off and stuff like that. But I played it for about 10 hours, and I got out of first area with all the snow and stuff.
Yeah.
And to the, I think it was East Anglia or Anglia or whatever they called it. And then I was just done. I thought, I've done all this before so many times. And not just with Assassin's Creed, but like, what was the other game that came out a couple of years ago on PlayStation? The Samurai one. What was called now?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. Just,
what a game.
I like that as well, but I just felt like, I've done this game so many times and exploring the map. And I just thought, I'm just done. I can't be asked with it anymore. So I just got bored. Like I said, I just got bored of it.
Oh, such a good game, man! I love Valhalla.
But I'm just like, I thought, I've got so many other games to play as well. I just got bored. So moved on.
That's a shame. I mean, how many hours has Darren put into it? A couple of hundred easy.
I think it's about 260 odd, something like that. I think.
Oh.
There was actually free DLC added to it this week.
Wow.
Was there?
Yeah, a roguelike sort of dungeon thing.
Oh, nice.
Which strangely carries on the storyline from the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC. But it's available free to everyone. I literally went in there, tried it for sort of like half an hour, but obviously it doesn't save your progress or anything like that until you fuck up or whatever.
Right.
And you can't leave either. Sort of go back to the thing you've got to go through, and it's the kind of game modes I'm not massive fans of at all. So I was just kind of like, and I think they've chucked almost as many free like achievements and trophies at it as they did with the Dawn of Ragnarok DLC. But sort of like I've listened to sort of some people sort of like play through it, sort of explaining what you got to do, and I did laugh because there was one bloke who sort of said like, yeah, I did this run and it took me about 2 or something hours, and then I died at the end and I almost threw my controller. And I thought, yeah, that just sounds really fun. Not for me. It's just a thing. So their free DLCs have been hit and miss for me in that regard. I liked the River Raids. I thought they were cool.
Yeah.
I despised the Mastery Challenges. I thought they were awful and highlighted everything wrong with the combat and stealth in the game. I really liked the Hidden Tombs, I think they were called. That was another free one they added that was good, and obviously I don't particularly like this one either for what it is, because you don't take any of your own gear or abilities or anything like that into the game. So you just literally going in bare bones with random gear that it gives you each run. And then you level it up and power it up, and then you get like the classic split path. So it's like you can go this way to get a new weapon, or you can go this way to get an ability. But whatever it is you get during your run, you lose it all when you die anyway. So it's just in that regard.
Okay.
Some people will have fun with it anyway.
Is there another one out this year, or is it 3 years in between?
There's rumours that there is.
Really?
Whether it's this year or not,
so.
yes. There's rumours of this one called Assassin's Creed Rift.
Oh, okay.
Which will follow the story of Basim, who is obviously one of the characters you'll meet in Valhalla.
Oh,
in fact, you've already met him anyway, Nick. If you've left to go to, he's one of the 2 assassins that come back with Sigurd.
I can't remember any of them, mate. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just zoning out, just wanted to kill everything and explore.
The rumours are it's going to be a stealth-focused title, smaller than the ones that we've had recently. But it's all going to be basically about him and doing stuff in like Egypt and not Egypt, sorry, like Jerusalem and all that kind of area.
Cool, okay.
Where like was originating in the original Assassin's Creed.
Nice. Cool, man. Yeah, it's such a big game. I remember when I played, I just got sucked into the story mainly in the world, and because of it's set in the UK, it's just like yes, just fucking amazing, so good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that took me, I can't remember now, but I think that took me about 100 hours.
That's a big old game. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the 2 DLCs. I'll have to reinstall it then if there's new content on there. Especially if it's got Chivos.
I think even Colin got into it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know whether he finished it or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I think he did.
Colin was like someone who generally shies away from all the Ubisoft stuff, or Ubisoft as he used to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seemed to be quite enjoying it, either early this year or late last year, if I recall.
Yeah, he was. Good to see. Awesome, mate. Well, let's move on anyway to Darren.
Same vein again, I guess. Probably the game I've played the most this week has been that Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Oh, you're still enjoying it? That's good to hear.
Yes and no.
Oh, okay.
Parts of the game I really like. The open world stuff's really fun. The combat's decent and enjoyable. The storyline, although relatively silly, is kind of well done because it gives you like loose stories on like the Greek gods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As you're going through it and sort of doing the quests for each of the ones that have been corrupted and whatnot. But what I'm not a massive fan of is all the puzzles.
Oh, really?
Like you played this, Webby, don't you? So
yeah, only briefly.
Yeah. So you have these things called like the Dungeons of Tartarus.
Yeah.
Which are basically puzzle dungeons.
Yeah.
After a while, they get really annoying, and you're like, I just want to get back to the other world. I'm sick of like rolling boulders around and trying to get them to hit air ramps to catch them in midair and move them somewhere else.
Yeah.
For them to drop and then have to go all the way back to the start of that thing to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
So that does start to wear thin pretty quickly. After I'd done a few of them and moved the story forward, another sort of cool element was added to the game where you'll get other Greek heroes, not necessarily gods, but people like Achilles.
Yeah.
Which turn up as corrupted bosses in the open world. And when you defeat them, it then sends them back to where their dungeon is, where they're hiding them. So you have like an arena fight against them.
Right.
They're also puzzle dungeons. So it's like, I literally was like, right, I'm going to kill this twat, because if you don't, they keep turning up, and they're reasonably sort of tough as well. Because there are a few other bosses that are around in the game anyway, that you'll come across like sort of lieutenants and other sort of like tougher enemies that are named and have big bars, a bit like the legendary animals and stuff in Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
That you'd obviously kill, and then like obviously you'd put mount the heads on the wall of your longboat house and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll go off and take this bloke out. Puzzle dungeon. I just lost it before I even got to him. I just thought, no, off. I just switched the game off because it was like I had to do jumping things over moving lasers and then picking something up to move it, and then like once you'd moved it, it sends it on like a screwball scramble ramp, and then you've got to quickly jump over all these other lasers and stuff to get to the other bit to catch it before it rolls off the edge.
Right.
So I did all that, and that was fine. And then it was like, another one, and I just thought, off. Like, not interested. I don't want to do this. Can't you just have an arena fight, like a boss fight for these? Because there's countless ones of these other puzzle dungeons in the game anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they seem to be like slightly. So that's the one thing that sort of bums me out a tad, is the reliance on all these puzzle dungeons, which, well, I've never really been a fan of that kind of thing anyway. So
you're not a fan of Zelda Breath of the Wild then?
Well, I don't know, but I remember sitting there and thinking, like, oh, if this is what they're claiming Zelda Breath of the Wild was like, I'm glad I didn't pick it.
Because
the reason I didn't pick that game up is because of the breakable weapon stuff. I was just not interested in that at all in a Zelda game. I'm used to the old sort of Zeldas like Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So when they had, like, there was a lot of people that were like, oh, the breakable weapon stuff isn't too bad and whatnot. I just thought, no, I just can't be bothered to keep an eye on things like that. Yeah, and I have seen people be really creative, like even Dan, because obviously he really enjoyed Breath of the Wild, and I think so did Paul.
Yeah.
Stunty, when they were going through it. And some of the creative ways people were doing over the weird world bosses in that were funny as hell.
Yeah.
Because they're like sort of like big things on tripod legs, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Sort of wander around, and I was seeing people like catapulting them through the sky.
Yeah, you can do some right cool stuff.
Things like that. Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm persevering with it here and there. I just find it's a easy enough game to jump in, play a couple of hours, and then jump out. Do a couple of dungeons and then sort of turn it off just so they don't wear thin.
Yeah.
Over time, because there's a hell of a lot of them from what I can tell. I mean, I must have done about 20 odd.
Yeah.
And I've only uncovered like maybe 1/20th of the map or something.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's probably at least 100 of them in the game.
Oh, that's way too many. Yeah. All right, mate. Okay, well, I'm going to talk about a game that I played from start to finish this week, all on my own. The Quarry. The Quarry.
I thought you was all on your own. I thought you was doing this with family.
Oh.
Is this the second playthrough? Or they all dropped off?
They all dropped off, really, and with 2 chapters left to go.
Filthy casuals, mate. Filthy
I was just
casuals.
like, when are we going to play and finish this? When are we going to finish it? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, right, I'm starting a game on my own. Because one of the characters died on the playthrough with the family. I was like, right, I'm not going to let anyone die because I'm the best. And, yeah, I played it from start to finish. It took me about 3 days. And I really enjoyed it, actually. If you've really enjoyed like Until Dawn or the Dark Pictures games and something like that, then this is definitely for you. The story is fucking awesome. It really, really is. And some of the... and you can make, like on the other games, like there's a lot of choices, and there seems to be like a lot of... different routes to take, because in these games, like, all your characters can die. So if one of your characters dies early on, then you miss like loads of scenes throughout the game. Because I went onto YouTube and I wanted to just see, you know, what happens if you do these choices, for example, just because I'm interested. And yeah, there is a lot of differences in the game, which is really nice to see. and towards the end of the game, your characters can die really easily with just a wrong choice. So, I think
so. It's they can die with choices, or is it because you're too slow on the?
No, so there's two ways.
QTE.
So you can obviously your characters can die if you don't hit some of the QTEs, but also making wrong choices as well.
I see.
Yeah, so you really need.
Good.
So you really need to think about your choices and the consequences that could come about by what you decide. I'm not going to say. I'm obviously not going to give any examples because I'd be spoiling it. But like a couple of them, like the characters can die really easy. So, but I managed to finish it with everyone alive, which is great because I got the 100G achievement for that as well. But I'm missing a couple of collectibles, which is annoying. So I've got to go back and do some chapters for some collectibles at some point. I'm in no rush, but I really enjoyed the experience. And I think what makes this game, and with all the others, the dev team that make this, just they put so much attention to detail, and like all the actors are real world actors. They all are very well done, and just the stories themselves are just really interesting, and that's what keeps you wanting to play, just to see how it all ends up, right? So yeah, so this is quite scary compared to some of the others. Well, I don't think it's scary, but my missus was saying that this is the scariest one that she's played because she's played all of the other games with me. But I just think it's a bit of just a really cool kind of like it reminds me like when I'm playing it, it reminds me of like I Know What You Did Last Summer or Scream, like those teenage horror flicks, right, which aren't really super scary, you know what I mean? So and that's what it reminds me of, but I really like those films, so that's kind of why I really like this game as well, because it gives me that vibe. Because there's love interest between some of the characters and relationship issues. Come on, and it's just got a lot of depth to it, I feel, and it's just a really good game. And I would say that if you have a chance of picking this up, especially if it comes on sale at some point, then definitely do it. I picked this up on sale on digital. About 3 weeks ago, I think it was, wasn't it, when I was talking about it, and I had a load of Bing points, so it cost me £13 using me Bing points, which was a bargain. And it's definitely worth. I'd definitely be happy spending £30 on it, to be honest, but I struggle to say if it'd be worth more than that. Just because like single player games, I'm one of those people. Once I've completed it, I'll put it down, but this has definitely got some replayability if you fancy playing it again and making some different choices. Yeah. So
especially if you get a character killed as well, and you want to get the 100G.
Yeah.
So you'd have to play it through again, wouldn't you, to try and keep everyone alive, I guess.
And then you need to do it, and then you need to play it again to kill everyone as well. So, so that would be quite an interesting one to do.
I'm definitely interested, but like the price is putting me off at the minute, and I think I've got so much to play at the minute. I just think give this another year, and it'll probably come down. It might end up on Game Pass, but I think it will definitely be in a lot more sales in the next year or so.
I think
I have seen that they are going to be releasing a double pack. I think soon with this one and whatever the next Dark Pictures game is.
Really? Oh, that's quite a good idea.
Yeah. Because they did the previous 3, didn't they, as a triple pack? But I haven't seen it anywhere. Whether it's digital only.
It is on digital.
Stores, I don't know.
Yeah, because the next Dark Pictures game is out in November, I think. So
it should be October, really, just in time for Halloween.
Maybe October. But yeah, I bet I like the Dark Pictures games because they come out as £20 titles. You see.
What ones have there been? It's the Man of Medan, isn't it? I've played that one. It's the only one I've played.
Ashes, House of Ashes, and Little Hope.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then what's this Until Dawn? What's that one? I've never.
So that's on the PlayStation.
That's the PS one.
I think that might be on the PlayStation Plus thing, Peebs.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Have a look for that then.
See if it's on
That was
there.
the OG one. That's the one with
Remy Malek in it, isn't it?
Remy Malek. That's it.
Yeah.
And Hayden Patieni or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
The cheerleader from
Yep.
Heroes.
Yeah,
well, she probably hasn't aged much. She sort of always constantly looks that age.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely great games, and yeah, I really do recommend the Quarry. It's bloody awesome. So check it out. Okay, Nick.
What's Peebs next, or has he already said?
No, it is me.
Oh, was it Peebs? Oh, sorry. Go on, Peebs.
Yeah. Sniper Elite 5.
Yes.
We actually managed to get together this week, didn't we, Webby? And we completed it.
We did. It was amazing.
Smashed out the last, 3 or 4 chapters, then plus the DLC. We both purchased the Hitler DLC and completed that.
Yeah, that was a really good mission, actually. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's you have to fight. It's on like a big estate, so it's like a big country retreat. And you have to find. First of all, you've got to try and locate Hitler, see whereabouts he is, because he moves around, and there's several ways you can kill him. Find him, kill him. So we did that, and I've done it a couple of times since, because there's a Chivo for killing him 5 times.
Oh, wow.
Chivo for killing him with a testicle shot.
And a
Chivo for killing him from over 300 meters. So I've done the over 300 meters Chivo.
Nice.
We really enjoyed that, didn't we? And it's a great co-op game. It looks graphically nice.
Yeah.
Plays well. It don't really have any glitches, and we always connect okay with it. So, but yeah, I've still got it. I've not deleted it yet. I still plan on doing a few more. Not big playthroughs, but I'll go. Mopping up some achievements, because you've got to check to select, so you can go in and just play on a certain mission. Because I still need the Chivo for getting a testicle shot from over 100 meters.
Yeah,
I can't get it for some reason. But so I will go back and mop up some achievements. And I think there is future DLC for it as well, isn't there? I think there's going to be some more.
Well, there is another one that we haven't purchased yet already out, which we probably will pick up at some point.
Yeah, that was a bit more expensive, wasn't it? Because the Hitler DLC was only a £5, but to be fair, it's only one mission, isn't it? So, but yeah, I think.
But this other one's a £10, but it comes with some weapon pack as well. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great game. But like, because we were chatting in party chat, we were playing, and we were saying when we were doing the Hitler mission that it kind of reminds us of Hitman a little bit, because there's loads of different ways of killing Hitler, and it's the same on the other levels when you got people to kill. It's you could poison them. You could snipe them from far away. You can sneak into the room and knock them out, and all this sort of stuff. So there isn't just one way of killing the enemies in this game, because you can go full stealth if you want and do it the Hitman way, but we usually just go in all guns blazing and just fuck shit up.
Yeah, well, we start with the intention of doing it stealthily, but one of us normally alerts somebody, and then it just all goes off, doesn't it? So that's normally after about 2 minutes.
Yeah, like, oh, there's some enemies over there, shoot them.
But yeah, we got all the collectibles, didn't we? So it's just literally mopping up a few achievements for me on that game. But I don't think I've finished, because I have played Sniper Elite 3 and 4, but I don't think I finished 4.
Oh, okay.
I think I found it quite hard, but I'm thinking of going back to that.
4, the one in Italy? Yes,
I believe it is. I remember starting it and finding it quite hard, and I just put it down. But after playing this and enjoying it, I think I'm going to go back to it and try and finish it. But
nice.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass for people who've got Game Pass, so it's definitely worth trying if you've not tried it already. But yeah, good game.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, now it's Nick's turn.
Now it's my turn. Well, obviously, because I was sick of big open world games, for some reason I decided to start streaming Red Dead Redemption 2 this week. I don't know. When I'm picking games now, I used to be, oh, what game do I want to play? And now I'm like, which game is going to piss me off the least amount of time, you know? So, and I've had this since it came out 4 years ago. I got it sort of when I moved house, so I was like, oh, I'll play that when I get that the Xbox set up. Oh, I'll play that later, and then just never did. So I was like, all right, so I thought I'd fire this up and I had a go at it because like I said, I played like all the other GTAs and I really like Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption and that. So I thought I'd play this and wow, what a good looking game it really is.
Yeah.
It was just like how good the graphics are, the lighting and just the atmosphere and stuff. And obviously you start in like the snowy area and I'm like onto like chapter 2 or 3 now, but it's just like in the snow and stuff like that. The controls are a little bit clunky. Like I walk up to talk to someone, and instead of talk to him, I accidentally shoot him in the face. But I'm like,
oh, that's
sorry,
not
mate.
good.
No, that's just is what it is, you know. And like someone was telling me, because I think I remember like probably you guys talking about it, like you know, like the physics of the game, like when you're on the horses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think someone was saying in chat, oh, your horse could just fall over and die at any moment. I was like, nah, shut up. And then I was like in a horse and cart, and then I hit a tiny little pebble, and then everyone on the cart just said wasted. Like I was like, oh, so it's like that then. Okay, fair enough. And then there was another bit where I was chasing someone on a horse, and he was on a horse, and he went under a bridge, you know, like where a train was going underneath. I just clipped the side of the bridge, and I'm like dead. I was like, oh. Okay, but I mean, I know that's probably realistic, and in other games, you know, you'd probably sort of bounce off it a little bit rather than die. But I think I'd prefer something like that because yeah, I suppose it's nice when games are realistic and stuff like that. But you don't want to just keep repeating the same stuff over and over for something as silly as that. You know, you don't mind breaking a bit of the realism for stuff like that. But I mean, one mission I did sort of struggle with because I wasn't really reading what I was supposed to do, so I was just chasing some guy and just kept shooting him.
Oh,
and he kept dying.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so, and I was like, what's that flashing thing in the corner? Oh, you want me to get my rope out? And oh, I get it now. You know, that's because like I said, you don't get hog time and stuff like that. I was like, that's what I got to do, but. Anything as serious, I've googled it, and apparently, you know, because I'm trying to work out how I can fast travel now. And I can't do it. And I think I googled it, and I said you've got to like upgrade something in your camp, got to put money in and stuff like that. So I'm like, I haven't got any money, and I'm wanted somewhere for like $300. So I thought, oh well, I better pay that fine. Something, or I wanted for $300 or $500. So I went to a post office. And I'm like, $500. I'm like, I've got like 60, so that's probably not enough. And I suppose $500 for killing a complete town full of people. I mean, that's a good deal, really. But
not bad.
when I've got 60, I'm like, okay, I'll just stay away from that town for a little while. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, you know, because. You know, I've only played like one of those before, and the one with the zombies. What was that? Undead Nightmare.
Oh
yeah, that was in the original, wasn't it?
Because this one's a prequel to the first game, and with John Marston. You play as someone else called Arthur Morgan. I was like, where's John Marston? Where's he at? And then we went and rescued him. I was like, oh, there he is, and now he's just walking around.
Yeah, isn't he being attacked by a bear or something?
Basically, they got separated in the blizzard, and he was up like on a mountain because his horse got attacked. Him and his horse got attacked by a bear. He sort of crawled up into a mountain. That's why in the other game, you know, he's got like the scar down his face. He got attacked by a bear. So I'm like, oh, that's really clever. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying that, and fingers crossed I don't get bored of it, but I'll just, you know, it's just a game you could just plod along with, and, you know, I could stream that, and it's fine, because, you know, you could stop and chat and things like that, and it doesn't really matter, or I could just play it offline, my underwear, and just not really care, you know?
There it is, man.
It's good, so if there's anyone left that hasn't played it, probably not, should definitely get it. It's probably really cheap now.
I think you're the last person on the planet to play it, mate, to be honest.
Maybe. Fair enough.
Okay, Darren.
Just have and Luke. Don't think they're a great deal, to be honest.
All right.
Just I think the also rans that I've been mentioning before, week in, week out.
Yeah.
We seem to be in like this weird drought period at the moment. Still, in my opinion.
Get through that backlog, mate.
Yeah, there's obviously I've got Soul Hackers 2 at the end of the month, so that'll be decent. But up until that point, I don't think there's really much else that's sort of like taking my fancy or whatnot.
Fair dues, mate. It's no problem. Okay, well, I'm going to jump in then. Because I've been playing a few other games, which I'll talk about 2, because I'm just going to say I've had a great time this week on Gran Turismo 7 with the dudes. So What's My Tag, Laffer, and CaptiveVenom. Had a really good time on Gran Turismo with those guys this week, so big up to you guys. It's been amazeballs. But the other game I want to talk about, Sea of Thieves. There has been a...
Next.
No. There has been a new update to this game. And it is awesome. So in this new update, you can actually buy and name your own ship, which is awesome, and completely customize it. And there's also an easier way to like unload your loot. So instead of like taking about 10 minutes to unload your loot one by one, there's a new person on the dock which will just do it all for you, which is fantastic. So yeah, it just made it a little bit easier. But I went on it last night with my missus, and we did one easy mission of these new missions, and then we did the second one, and we loaded up so much loot, and then we were just going to the outpost to sell it all, and we got ambushed by an enemy ship, and we got sunk, and we lost everything, and I was really pissed off. But that's just part of the game at the end of the day. But yeah, loving it. So I named my ship the Floating Angel. Isn't that poetic?
Floating Angel.
Yeah. So
worst name ever.
I just love this game, man. Peebs, you just don't understand. You really don't. This game is so much fun when you're playing online with people, doing your missions, the randomness of stuff that can happen because there's other players inhabiting the server as well. And this new update it's just really cool. The fact that there's just a lot more customization in the game. You know what I mean? So I just think yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, loving it, mate. Loving it. Just going around doing more different missions, because after you've done everything, you kind of get a bit samey. So it's just been nice to have new things to do. So yeah, loving it, mate. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Cool. Who's next, Peebs?
Yeah. Well, because obviously I've been playing Stray, it sort of dragged me back to the PlayStation, and I've really been enjoying my PlayStation this week.
Yeah.
And I've just been looking on the content, because obviously me and Webby share the Plus, so I was looking for some games to download, and although I have got Horizon Zero Dawn, is that the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forbidden West is the second one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been playing the first one. I've had it for a little while now. Got quite far into it, but then just dropped off it. So, because I've been on the PlayStation this week, I put that back on and getting back into that now. I've got such a backlog, and I bought that Lego Star Wars the other week. I've been waiting for a few months for that, and then I've played a few missions, and I've hardly touched it since. I've been playing other stuff. So, but yeah, I'm liking this Horizon. I've heard the second one is supposed to be even better. Although I was talking to Stunty in game chat the other day, and he's saying he dropped off it. He thought it was a bit boring.
Was that Horizon you were talking about? Yeah,
one has its issues, I think.
Yeah, Horizon. Yes, talking about Horizon. Yeah.
Yeah. So Forbidden West, Peebs. Yeah, I mean, in the end with Horizon Forbidden West, I got a little bit bored, but I wanted to do the story, so I just put it down onto nub mode and just blasted through the story in the end, just because I wanted to get it done. And I look back on that now and I'm like, that's not really, you know, that just doesn't show that it's a great game in my opinion, when you're having to, when you have that feeling where you just want to put it on easy and just rush through the story because it's getting a bit samey, you know what I mean? So
well,
yeah.
It just seems exceedingly bloated. Like the side mission stuff, and that's fine. But then you've got all of these other puzzle dungeon. Well, I wouldn't say like dungeons, but like the relics where you got to find the relics and stuff like that. And more often than not, you come across them, and then it's like, you do not have the right equipment to do this right now, and you just think, I'll just fuck off, you know what I mean? Like, so you end up like having to go back to them later on, and like, can you even be bothered, kind of a thing, unless you're going for obviously the completionist stuff. And some of these things were things you had ways to get past in the original game that all of a sudden your character no longer has the ability to do anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, even this one I'm playing, it's quite an big open world, and there is a lot on the map to do. But at the minute, I'm just concentrating on the main missions, and might go back and try and do a few side missions and errands, I think they're called, and then there's different enemies to kill. But yeah, I'm quite liking the story of it, and the animal, like the robotic animals and stuff, is quite cool.
Yeah, it's a cool take.
Yeah, it's a cool take on things and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it looks good. You know, looks nice graphically, plays well. So yeah, definitely looking to finish this at some point, hopefully in the next week or two, and then try and get through some of my backlog, because I'm interested. I was speaking to Collie today in Party Chat, and he was playing, because Far Cry 6 had a free weekend play this weekend, which I didn't know about until I was talking to him this afternoon. It was a bit too late for me to download it, but he was loving it.
Yeah, it's a great game. I absolutely think it's an awesome game.
Piqued my interest for it because it is on sale at the minute. In the sale, I think it's about £23, and I've got about £15 Bing points, so I might.
It'd be worth £7.
Yeah, cash it in and just pay that for that. But then that'd be another big game that I've got on me thing to try and get through. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, loving the PlayStation, and I still trying to get the trophies. You know, I still want to get trophies just like I do achievements. Trying to catch my brother up because he's solely on PlayStation and he likes getting his platinums. So I'm trying to catch him up at the minute, but he doesn't play as many games as me, so I don't think it'll take me too long to catch him up. But he's got, I think, he's nearly platinum Gran Turismo. I don't know if that's hard or not.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I have no idea. I mean, I don't look at trophies ever, so I don't give a fuck, mate. I really don't. I just do not give a shit. It's like Steam has achievements as well, and I don't look at those either.
Oh no! All right, no, I've never really been on Steam, so I wouldn't know. But I just think the dashboard is so much. When you push the home button, everything's smoother and faster. I find. I don't know if it's just because
you don't have to load up. You're not loading up advertisements for a start.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like the PlayStation and
still prefer the dashboard on the PS4 to the PS5 easily.
Yeah.
Custom themes and all of that, dynamic themes and all that. They just threw it all away for some random reason.
I don't know what. No, that seems odd that they stopped that.
Companies just come up with these good ideas and then throw them out the window. Do you remember when certain games on the Xbox you'd unlock avatar items with the achievements?
Yeah.
Threw that away.
Yeah. I mean, I was just talking to my missus' nephew about the Xbox 360 today, because he's a big Xbox gamer. And I was saying like how great the 360 was with the avatars and the achievements and just the whole social aspect of it, because, you know, like I was telling him obviously about 1 versus 100, which was awesome, but also, do you remember with the avatars where you could watch TV shows together? Like your avatars would sit in this little cinema area.
Yeah.
Did you remember that? Because we used to do that sometimes, like just watching stuff. And
that poker game as well, which was good, weren't it? Remember when your avatar used to sit around and you used to go in that? I can't remember what that was called now.
I can't either, but I do remember that. Yeah. So many.
But we used to load your dashboard up and see your friends list, and it'd have the avatar and then the game they were playing, and it was done really good.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel as social anymore. Just the whole layout, you know. I used to love going through my friends thing and just seeing all the avatars, and they'd be asleep if they were offline, or if they were online, they'd be like Peebs would probably be kicking a football or something. You know what I mean? And you could buy all these different emotes and costumes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
they had loads of costumes.
Awesome.
I had the Macho Man Randy Savage one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then
because you used to be able to see everyone, like when you went into your friends list, all of the people in parties would be there first.
Yeah.
And you'd see everyone's avatars sat there who was in the party, so you could even tell at a glance without going in.
Yeah.
If you knew what avatar stuff your mates would have on, who was in what party.
Yeah.
And then they'd obviously start messing around with their props and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's good.
It's just harder now. It's just not. It just doesn't feel like since we've left that 360 era, it just doesn't feel as cohesive anymore, and it is a shame. But you know, like that whole avatar thing, I thought was just such a great idea, and the way they laid out the dashboard was awesome. And now it's just, you know, the Xbox dashboard was just a load of tiles, games, fucking store, and Game Pass, and that, and then you have to really go in to look at your friends. I feel anyway, it's just a bit of a mission, unfortunately. Yeah, I miss those good old days. Yeah. Memories. Look, I've still got my old avatar as my profile picture because they changed the avatars to look really like freakishly real, like odd, like semi-realistic, and they look just really shit. Whereas the older cartoony ones, I think, still look the best. So I've still got that as my profile picture. Yeah. With my Red Sox outfit on. Yeah, baby. Anyway, I can't even remember how we got to this conversation at all. Something about PlayStation, Peebs.
Yeah.
You were loving the PlayStation. Is that it? Shall we move on?
Yeah, move to the next game if you want.
Was it Nick next? Yes.
Well, I mean, I put in the Facebook groups. I had my Dreamcast modded recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, the main reason was to get it fixed because that just kept resetting and rebooting itself for whatever reason. I mean, I was a bit pissed off. I mean, I was only 23 years old, and I was barely run in. I was practically brand new, you know. So I just found someone on eBay, and so I messaged him. I said, because that said repairs/modern. I was like, well, that keeps doing this. He's like, yeah, I can fix that. And I think it was like 55 quid, which is, I thought, pretty reasonable, you know. And plus I sent him mine, so it wasn't like one of those horrible yellow ones, you know, proper. So he fixed that, and touch wood, you know, the last week or so that hasn't rebooted once. So
excellent.
He also did, you know, he obviously cleaned it, made it Region 3, put all nice lights on, so all the controller ports light up blue.
Yeah,
the top,
nice. Yeah.
Which is nice. But he also replaced the one of the batteries with what you can replace yourself now, because I don't know if you've still got a Dreamcast, Webby, or nothing.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But whenever you turn it on, it always go back to 1999 on the clock.
Oh, I'd change the battery in mine so it doesn't. Yeah.
Well, basically, the Saturn, you can actually just pop a bit off the back and just pull the battery in and out. Whereas the Dreamcast, you actually have to like take it apart. You could have to like take the battery out and like solder it out. Whereas this one, he's put a thing in so you could just slide it out and slide a new one back in.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better. So yeah, so I've been basically playing that for the last week or so, on and off. You know, just making sure it's not broken. So I mean, I put all the games together because I've talked about them before. But basically, Sonic Adventure 1, playing through that, like mainly like the Tails campaign.
Yeah.
Because you can play through There's like 6 different characters, which is pretty cool. And obviously more Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
Which I like all those games. Like I said, I like my fighting games and stuff like that. The only problem is I'm just really crap at it. Always have been.
They have just announced that Evo this weekend. Sorry to butt in, a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 1-up cabinet that they're going to be releasing.
Yeah,
idea. Probably be too much money, but yeah. But I was playing that. But I also recently bought the official arcade stick as well for the Dreamcast.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. That's a lovely joystick.
That's nice. That's much better than the Sega Saturn one. The Sega Saturn one, it feels like every time I use it, the stick's just going to break off in my hand. This one, it feels really nice and solid and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still bad at the games, but a bit better at like Street Fighter than that, because like I said, I mostly played Street Fighter, so I'm all right with those characters. But I'm normally trying to be I normally pick, because you have to pick 3 characters in this one. I'm trying to get good with Ryu, Spider-Man, and Jill Valentine, because I like Resident Evil and stuff like that. So I'm like doing this, which I didn't used to years ago, which you can't do anymore. So I'm sitting there looking through the instructions book, trying to like learn all the moves and stuff. I even got like a bit of paper. I was like, write them all down so I know how to do the moves. I'm like, right, do the special move. No, you didn't do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying that. And then obviously, which I always play, original Resi 2. Just played through that, like the story, because I could bang through that in about an hour.
Oh,
Played
nice.
through that, just really enjoying it. But the only problem is my controller's a bit knackered. I think the analog stick's just on its last legs. And I've been looking at, there's a you can buy one on Amazon. If it's the last 2 years, it's like a Retro Fighters third-party controller.
Okay.
Like a different D-pad and buttons. I think it's about 45, 50 quid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted to get one of those because I think the D-pad... I mean, the D-pad's never been really good on the Dreamcast controller. I mean, to be fair, the Dreamcast controller's never been that good, as it's always been a little bit crap. And it's weird, I still keep trying to put my thumb on the controller where a second analog stick would be, and it's not there.
Yeah.
I just keep doing it. I was like, there's no analog stick there, stop it. But the only thing weird, I've got a brand new Dreamcast controller in the box, sealed. I just can't open it. I was like, no, I can't open it. 20 years old, I don't dare open it. I got some more somewhere in the cupboard, so I'm going to have to find one of those up or buy one of those, because yeah, this one's getting a bit fiddly, but I'm still enjoying it. Like I said, I still think, even though the Dreamcast was a flop, I still think it's better than what the PS5 and the Series X has been since it came out.
I mean, there's a lot of things. It's like we've talked before, haven't we, about like having retro stuff and whatnot. I mean, even back, because obviously I've had about 3 or 4 Neo Geos over my years. Like I sort of keep going back into them every now and again. And obviously, when you're picking up like the second-hand ones now, you very rarely get ones with like all the gold gilded letters on them.
Right.
Because obviously they wear off over time, especially on the controllers. So if you actually had like bought a brand new system way back in the day and kept it boxed and never opened until now, I dread to think how much that would go for to a collector. Because it would be in absolute pristine condition, which I don't think a single one exists on Earth in that state.
Wow.
Never even seen one, man. Never even played one.
All right, you must have played the arcades though, so...
I played some of the games in the arcades, but I still never played the SNES, so
you know. Technically played it, so that's exactly what it was. What it was in the arcade was what you had. Which is the appeal back then.
Nice. Okay.
So that's all the games done.
Alright, well, I've got a couple more. Peebs, have you got any more as well?
Yeah, I've got a few more, mate.
Okay, well, me and Peebs are keeping it going. Okay, so I played a really odd game on Game Pass this week. And I think, unless you know how to program computers, you're probably going to struggle with this. It's called Shenzhen I. Have you heard of this? No? Yeah? No?
No.
Okay, so I'm not sure if it's on the console Game Pass. Obviously, I played on the PC Game Pass. So it's basically you're like, it's set out like you're working for this company, creating like microchips for objects. So the video I've got on Twitch in a minute is you're doing the chips for this CCTV camera just to make the LEDs blink in a certain time frame. So you connect, so you get the CPU, connect the cable to the network, and then as you can see, you're typing in the code. So, and the only way you're going to know the code is within the game. You open up a PDF of the instructions, and it is fucking well long. So it's literally, this game could teach you the basics of coding. It really, really could. It's like, so like for the buttons, it's like sleep for 4 seconds, then turn on 100. So it does it in like, so coding's in like ones and zeros, so like ones on, zeros off. So it's like turn it on to 1 for like 10 seconds and then put it to 0 for 4, whatever, yeah? And it's just like that. And then you have these lines of code, and then it tells you as you're going along if it's right or not. And then if you do it right, you go back to your email, and then you get your next job. And I played it for a bit, and then but I was like, I work on computers all day. And I kind of have learned how to code a little bit anyway with some other languages, and I was just like, just feels too much like a job to me. So I kind of did the first thing, and I was just like, I don't think I'll play it anymore. But I think if you're interested in computers and what coding would be like, then maybe check it out. As I say, I don't know if it's on the console Game Pass or not. I've not checked. I think it might be quite difficult on a controller because you've got to type out the code, so it might only be on the PC Game Pass. But yeah, I just thought it was quite interesting because I thought, I'll check this out and I'll see what it's like. But it's been on Steam for years, and it's got glowing reviews, like all positive. So it's one of those PC nerd games. But yeah, I thought it was all right, but I was just like, yeah, it feels like work it's a bit too close to home for work. So I was just like, no thanks. I'll stop now. So yeah, it was quite interesting though. Peebs?
Yes, I'll just talk about a couple of quick ones. I did finish Cobra Kai.
Oh, nice.
Game.
Nice.
I remember putting in the chat that the end boss is one of the hardest bloody bosses I've come across in a game.
Oh, wow.
So bloody annoying. Because obviously,
I gave up about halfway on that. I was like,
What, on the game or the boss?
The game.
On the game, yeah, because it's quite a long game, isn't it? It's quite a lot of levels, and then you play through as one dojo, complete it, and then you have to play again with the other dojo. So
yeah.
you're using the different characters from each dojo. But yeah, I got to the end, and you fight John Kreese at the end, and he's just flies around all over the place. You can't use the same moves on him. And you can't use your special ability moves either. It has to be just punching. So yeah, it was just it was really frustrating me, and I nearly gave up on it, but I persevered and ended up completing it because it's like a 90G Chivo for beating him, so I had to do it.
It'd be that difficult to beat up a 75-year-old man, though, sure.
But yeah, so I'm pleased I got that done out of the way now because I've had that for quite a while. I've been playing that for quite a while. So that's.
I thought, I must be near the end now. I've had enough. Didn't hate the game, but I thought, I've had my fill, and I looked. I thought, am I near the end? And I was like, no, you're only halfway. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna keep playing.
Yeah, it's quite a long game. But yeah, I'm glad I've done it now. So that's that done out of the way, and. It was a free weekend for WWE 22K, whatever it's bloody called.
Yeah, WWE 2K22.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, the new one. It was a free play, so I downloaded that Saturday morning, and I played a little bit of it. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it because I used to be into wrestling back in the day, but I haven't really picked up a wrestling game for a while. Not the WWE official ones; they were starting to get a bit boring. But this one is, from what I played, pretty cool. I mean, the graphics are really great, and it's really vibrant colours and stuff. And there's just the game modes. There's loads of game modes on it, so you can do you could do one where you create your wrestler and you go through the storylines and stuff. So it's like a little like an actual story mode, which is quite cool. And then you can do there's another one where you're like a manager of a roster, and you can pick your wrestlers on a draft, and then you go through the storylines with that and making decisions and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I don't think I'll purchase it just yet, though. I just wanted to have a look at it, and I think that a bit further down the line, if it goes in a sale or something, I might purchase it.
I have seen it on some websites recently for around £30 odd.
Yeah.
But obviously you have to make sure you buy the proper version, because this is one of those ones where they started wising up to the smart delivery stuff, so there is a separate editions for the Series X and the standard.
Oh, is there? But yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it, so it's perked my interest for it. But like I say, I'll probably wait a little bit longer, see if it drops in price or something. It's too much to play at the minute, but thumbs up. It looks pretty cool, and I've seen some online. Some of the people who creating characters and stuff have got some great imagination.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen people who download the created characters and have these simulated Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
And I think it's got a few of the legends on there. I haven't really seen too many.
It's got loads. It's got Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and there's quite a few other.
I think they've added Van Vader and stuff like that as well with DLC.
Okay. So it's got a good selection.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
Anyone see they brought out a trailer last week or week into last week for AEW, the other wrestling trailers? I think Ukes and that have gone off to make that. Or whoever. Yeah. And
I was about to say, is it still Ukes that are doing them, or is it someone else?
Oh, this is someone else. Ukes and everything are buggered off, and they took their engine with them. That's why. The one before this one was a Travis.
Shit, yeah.
They used the PS2 engine that they had lying around. I didn't think anybody would know.
I'm real for that.
Oh.
But they shoot a trailer which was about 35 seconds, and they just shoot some face shots of the wrestlers, and that was it. I was like, oh, is that it? What's the point? So, but I think it's supposed to be out this year. I can't see it coming out this year if they don't have anything to show.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to I just want to mention there's a couple of things I forgot to mention on Sea of Thieves. So there's another thing that just makes it a little bit easier. When you start a game and your ship's empty of stuff like food and wood and cannonballs and stuff, and you have to go around the island and empty the barrels on the island. So there's a quick way now. You go to the shipwright, and you can just pay her to fill up your ship with stock. So you just go in and buy your barrel, buy your wood and food and cannonballs and shit, and then when you when you go on your ship, it's all just already in there. So it just makes things a lot easier in that aspect as well, which is quite cool. And there's also a logbook in your ship as well now for the ships you own, and it records everything like how many days you've played, how many miles you've sailed, how many quests you've completed, and all that kind of cool stuff as well. So it's just nice that it keeps a record in there, which I think is quite nice. So, yeah.
What do you think, Webby, when you get in these games, like Sea of Thieves? I mean, how old is that now? What? It's got to be 5 years old, nearly?
4 or 5 years. Yeah, but they're constantly improving it. Like, when it come out, I thought it was a bag of shit.
I think most of them are. But do you prefer them to, bring out a game then just keep updating it with stuff like this, or how they used to just bring out sequels every couple of years?
Well, I actually quite like the way that they're doing this, because the game's there, the world is there, right? And they're just updating it and giving you more stuff to do and extra features, which I think is a really cool way. It keeps the community engaged in the same game and makes you come back to play it. Yeah, it's a bit like an MMO in a way. Yeah. So yeah, I really like it. The fact that they do that.
Stuff, is it all free, or is it all on part of Game Pass?
It's all on Game Pass, mate. Yeah, it's all on Game Pass.
So if not, that'd just be like expansions and stuff like that.
No. So if you bought the game, I don't know, 20 quid or whatever, then everything in the game is part of the game. So yeah.
That's good then. That's decent.
Well, the way they make money is you can, like with any other game these days, you can buy a season pass, you know, and you unlock your levels along the way to get nice cosmetics and things. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to move on to my other games. I'm still playing Edge of Eternity, which is a really I'm really digging this RPG. I can't believe it's taken me this long to get into it, really. Like, because I remember I got this on Steam as part of the Kickstarter campaign years ago in early access, but never really played it. And then I hit Game Pass like as a full game. I was like, I might as well download it. I've been wanting to play it, and then started playing it. It's so cool. Like, especially if you love your JRPGs with turn-based combat, then this is the game for you. The open world is beautiful, very vibrant. There's loads of side quests that you can do as well. You know, the general stuff, like if in an area, because all the areas are kind of open world, so you have like an area which is open and you can do loads of stuff into it, and then you get to a part in the story where you move on to the next kind of portion of the open world. So it works like that. But yeah, it has a quest board like Monster Hunter. You can go around and do your quests, like your side quests in the areas, and all the combat is turn-based as well. Though you've got your physical attacks, your magic, your healers, and all that sort of stuff, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, I'm really, really digging this game because, you know, back in the old days, I used to love turn-based JRPGs, but they seem to be very few and far between these days. And this
just seem to end up as mobile phone games these days, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's because the new generation of like gamers like just aren't into that kind of thing, and game companies don't give a shit about people with disposable income.
Yeah. So, but I'm really liking this because it is very old school in that aspect, because I like turn-based combat because you've got to use your brain a little bit more, you know what I mean, like decide what attacks you're going to use, how you're going to defend and all that sort of stuff. But also the story has gotten really good. Like, it is really sucked me in, and I'm absolutely loving it as well. So every JRPG needs a good story to keep you playing, as well as great combat mechanics and a lovely open world, and just seems to just hit all those notes for me, to be honest. And I know this is out on all the consoles as well now, so I'm definitely going to be playing some more of it this week if I can get a Final Fantasy 14. But I would recommend this to any fan of JRPGs. It's so good, so good. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I know none of you have played it, so okay, just going to mention a couple of other games. I've been playing Road 96. I know, Peebs, you've found 1000G'd this, haven't you?
Yeah, I've completed it. Yeah, I did enjoy it.
So, I've actually like rinsed this game on Steam when it came out on Steam. So, I do have quite a bit of a history with it, but obviously I'm playing it now on Game Pass because I do actually think it's a great game, and obviously I want to get some Chivos on it as well. But what I like about it is, you do a playthrough, like it does the random characters, and it's just random every time you meet different people along your journey to get to the border, different areas, or sometimes you hit the same area but different things happen, right? And
yeah,
it's just really interesting, isn't it? Because there's not really any other game like this. You know, it's set in like a made-up country where all the teenagers are trying to escape over the border to freedom because all the laws in that country are so fucking shite. It's in like a communist country. Yeah, and it's just a really cool story, and like the choices you make throughout the game have a little bit of an impact as well. You can fail at crossing the border or even getting to the border, and then, you know, it's game over and you start again as another character. So I really like it, man. Really, really do. You got to make sure you sleep and eat, have enough energy to get to the next section. Make choices when you meet the characters, etc. It's pretty cool, and there's some collectibles to get as well, isn't there? Got to collect these cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes, and you can play them in the menu and listen to them. And I really like the soundtrack for this game.
It is good.
I really liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, it's a really cool game. And I really like the fact that the games like this are on Game Pass as well, because then it gives more people the opportunity to just try these games out that if they wouldn't have thought to buy them in the first place.
No, say I'd never have picked this up normally.
Yeah,
would never have played it. So yeah, it's good. Good that I got to play it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the last game I've been playing is the usual Call of Duty. Call of Duty Warzone. Yeah, can't really say much more on it, really. It's COD.
Well, apart from they did release the Terminator skins, didn't they? Which look pretty cool.
Yeah, they're quite expensive, though, 15 quid.
Yeah. The skins that they do for Warzone or for Call of Duty are done really, really well, but they are expensive.
Yeah.
The skins, the weapons are done really well. They've done a Rambo one, they've done a John McClane Terminator, and they obviously make up loads of different ones, but they are expensive. 2,400 COD points, which translates, I think, to about 15 quid.
Yeah.
So, you know, they do put them in a sale now and then, but they don't knock too much off them. But yeah, £15 for a skin is redonk.
It is. 100%.
If they were like 3 or 4 quid, I think you'd end up, people would buy them.
Yeah, but then everyone would have them then. I think they wanted to make them a bit more exclusive, don't they, as well?
Yeah, true, yeah. But I just, 15 quid for a skin is crazy.
Yeah. People will buy them, though.
Well, yeah, I've seen a few people. I mean, to be fair, the game is free, I guess, so, and you're sort of supporting them in a way, aren't you, if you buy a few skins here and there. You've not had to pay for the game, so I guess you can justify it in a way. I mean, I've bought a few, but I've bought the ones that when they've been in sales and they've been about 4 or 5 quid, and I've used the in-game currency that I've earned in the game.
Yeah.
So I've not really had to spend my own money as such.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, I've also been playing a bit of Vanguard as well. I still like dipping into it because I think it's a really fun COD game, and it's basically the old school COD gameplay as well. So, yeah, it's quite cool. So, I just wanted to mention actually, because I didn't write it down, but I've just remembered as well that I went on to some Battlefield 2042 today, because there's a game mode in the community playlist on there, which Clarky highlighted to me, called Squid G. I think he's a streamer or something. Anyway, it's rush mode. It's a big 128 player rush mode on a couple of maps, and I played that today, and it was actually, I had a lot of fun on it. It was like old school Battlefield again, old school. I did enjoy rush mode back in the day. So I do enjoy going back onto to Battlefield every now and again now, because it runs decent for me now. It just, every time I go on it, I just get that feeling of old school, like the old Battlefields that we all used to play together on the Xbox 360 and the one back in the day. And I know no one really, a lot of people don't really like 2042, but they've certainly improved it. They've added a new map, which is really, really good, and the core gameplay is pretty much there now from the old games. So yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I really, really do. So Yeah, I just wanted to mention Battlefield is a lot of fun, even though it's not super popular anymore. But going back to COD though, guys, did you see this in the news where obviously we all know that Xbox is in the middle of trying to buy out Activision, acquire Activision.
I thought that had actually gone through by now.
Well, it's not 100% gone through because Sony has gone to the regulators trying to stop the acquisition by telling the regulators that they can't that no other game can compete with Call of Duty, and they would never be able to make any other game for their system to compete with COD, because obviously they're worried that Call of Duty is going to become an Xbox exclusive.
But they've already said it's not.
I know, because
they make far too much money. I think a majority of the sales for Call of Duty is PlayStation. So they'd be stupid to cut that off. That's considering COD is basically that company's main bread and butter now.
Yeah.
They'd be silly to do that.
Yeah, I
think they stated that legacy titles will be coming to all platforms, but just obviously certain other things. And to be honest, if I was Sony, I'd be like, let Microsoft waste all that money like that. I still think that is such. I wouldn't pay like $8 billion for that fucking company, let alone 68 or whatever it is.
I mean, yeah, because Activision Blizzard, they don't really have anything else that's doing that well at the minute. Like World of Warcraft is dying,
slowly dying, which is understandable considering how old it is.
Yeah.
Overwatch, I think's had its day.
Yeah,
it will still be popular, but I don't think it'll ever reach the popularity that it once had. But then we shall see, because the new one's going to be free to play, so obviously you're going to get a lot more people give it a go.
Yeah.
But then you've also got other stuff coming in now with the regulations on loot boxes and stuff like that. So that's going to hinder sales and extra purchases in other countries.
Yeah.
Diablo, decent enough, I suppose. COD, okay, that's their biggest thing. But bar that, unless they're actually going to take a lot of disused IPs and stuff, that's a lot of money. Like, you could buy almost, I would choose almost any other developer or publisher in the world, like, over them.
Yeah.
For that price. You could buy, for that amount of money, probably every other publisher on the planet.
That's a lot of money, isn't it? Yeah, I don't get it. I think it's just to try and get more people over to the Xbox platform, because I know that COD is so popular and they're going to whack it onto Game Pass, aren't they? So they're thinking, we'll get loads more subscribers on Game Pass. That's the only thing I can think of, you know. But you are right that Call of Duty is, like, the PlayStation platform for Call of Duty is the most popular platform. I think it has more than PC and Xbox combined. I mean, every time I go onto Warzone, most of the players are PlayStation.
Is that to do with the fact that they had the exclusive deals on it while it was on PS4, like Xbox had with the 360 back in the day? For like
or is it just because the PlayStation is the most popular console? I don't know, right? So
it's just because it sold. The PS4 sold really well because it was cheapest, and then all the kids had it because their mates had it, and that's just what they played COD and FIFA on. It just is what it is. If Xbox are going to pay all that money and say, I think someone, I mean, you'll never know really, because all these companies lie through the teeth anyway.
Yeah.
If they say, Sony, you're not having COD anymore, so, shit. I mean, you know, PlayStation would do the exact same thing if they had Microsoft money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know Sony. You know, we always get between Microsoft and.
I've got a feeling, because I don't think it's a coincidence that Sony bought Bungie just after this deal came through. Because obviously, if Microsoft pull COD from PlayStation go, right, you're not having Destiny then. And
they'll probably do that anyway. They'll probably cry and say we want COD, and Xbox will say, can we still have Destiny? And I'll go, no. That's what these companies are like, mate. They're getting petty, and I think it's hilarious. I wish it went more like this. I think it'd be great. I'd love to see them act actually scrapping and getting dirty up your
It's quite
areas.
interesting because Destiny's currently on Game Pass on the Xbox as well. So
I think they took it off recently.
or did they take it off?
I think
Oh,
so.
okay.
I think they've took like the expand because it's still free to play the base game, but all the expansions were on there. But I'm pretty sure they've took them off recently.
I mean, I still think it's quite funny that Sony have to put MLB The Show onto other platforms, and that Xbox are like, yeah, we'll just put it onto Game Pass. I just think that's absolutely insane because it's a Sony-made game. You know what I mean?
But then Capcom confirmed that they paid Sony money, paid Capcom money to not put Resi 8 on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's mental. But then Sony do like have third-party exclusives on certain games, like Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, it's a couple of years old now. Never hit Game Pass. Final Fantasy 16 PlayStation exclusive as well. And those are console-selling games. And one of the arguments that Sony were putting to the fucking forgot the word now. The regulators is that Call of Duty is a console seller, that people buy consoles just for COD. But I was just thinking to myself, well, people buy consoles just for Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know what I mean? Final Fantasy is a game which is people will buy a console just to play that game. So, you know, every system does it. Every system has.
I think a system seller's a hard thing to say, because if it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake came out quite late, in the cycle, so it wouldn't surprise me if a high percentage of people bought 7 Remake probably already had a PS4 and Xbox at that point. So I don't think it would.
Well, most people only have one system.
That well, I think Final Fantasy VII fans would probably have both. It's just my opinion, it's still a fairly sort of niche game, like.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy is a sort of game where is a system seller. If it's only on one console, people will buy that console just for that game. I've done it. I know because I've done it.
The same thing with various other things. I bought a PlayStation 3 back in the day, the George Foreman one.
Yeah.
Second hand, because I was like, Monster Hunter's going to come out on it, surely. It was on the PS2 and it was on the PSP. Little did I know, no, we wouldn't see another Monster Hunter until, obviously, it jumped to Nintendo, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it was on the Wii, Monster Hunter Tri or whatever it was. So yeah, I pretty much bought a PS3 in the hopes that I'd play a Monster Hunter on it, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think recently it came out that's still Capcom's biggest selling game.
That's crazy.
Monster Hunter World is I think they sold about 17 million copies of that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, Webby, I know you say it is a system seller, but what I'm saying, just that late in the PS4 life cycle, I think most people would have already had a PlayStation 4 by then. Like, if Final Fantasy...
Yeah, but I'm not saying that, but people would buy a PS5 for Final Fantasy VII Remake expansion.
So if that was coming out to that, like this year... Final Fantasy 16 or Remake 2, because I know we've got the Crisis Core coming this year.
Yeah, I think that's PlayStation exclusive as well.
That's on Xbox.
That's coming to everything.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, sweet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if that was only on PS5, I would buy I haven't got a PS5. I would buy one for that. That's what I'm saying. But because it was that late in the life cycle, it came out the same. What was it, 2020? I think it came out the same year as PS5. So it's I'd already had one by then. So to sell, to bring out a system seller the same year you're bringing out.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that specific game. I'm saying as an example, Final Fantasy series, as an example, is a system seller. That's the reason I got a PS1. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I've bought PlayStations in the past, just to play those games.
That's what I'm just saying. Why, if they released it on Xbox now, I just don't think it'd sell that well.
No, it wouldn't, because most people would have.
I think most people have already played it or already had played it.
Yeah.
But hopefully hopefully 16 comes out fairly soon, then it'll do really well. I mean, I think it'd be a nice idea if everything came out on everything, but it's just not going to happen, is it?
No.
Are we eking into the news now?
Yeah, well, that was a news section anyway. That
well, because there's obviously been rumours recently, isn't there, that Squaresoft are looking to be bought out.
Well,
I did hear rumours this week about them looking to be bought out, and some people saying, yeah, expect an announcement soon. But then there was also, I think, something from the Xbox side where they're like, we're not over buying stuff up.
Yeah, because they've already sold Crystal Dynamics and IDOS to a group called Embracer Group. And apparently that was only phase 1 of Square Enix's plans, and phase 2 will be diversification of studio capital structure in business terms. So yeah, I think I would be quite concerned about Square Enix completely selling off, because that would I would be really concerned about the Final Fantasy franchise. I really would, if it went to someone else. And what would happen to 14 as well?
It would still be under Square, I believe. Also, I think the only companies capable of probably buying them out are Sony or Nintendo. Because there's clauses in Japan that foreign companies can't come in and just buy out Japanese companies. It has to be companies in their own country.
Oh, okay.
So if they were going to anyone, it would be Sony or Nintendo, unless there's like some sort of clause or weird way they can get around that. But technically, they could sell off their Western divisions of Squaresoft to Microsoft, which would include, like you said, Crystal Dynamics, etc.
Yeah.
Which would be good, because let's be real, some of those Western divisions that make stuff for Square are pretty underutilised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Tomb Raider hasn't done anything for a while. And
well, there is a new Tomb. Well, I did see in the news today actually that there is a new Tomb Raider game in development, and in this next Tomb Raider, Lara Croft has a girlfriend.
You're fucking joking.
No, I'm being completely serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've just destroyed that character. Yeah, they've just completely destroyed that character then.
Yep.
Just annoying. I mean, I don't give a fuck who Lara Croft's go with, but they're just doing it to score brownie points off the fucking nutcases online. Who gives a fuck?
No, they're doing it to take away like an icon from people. That's why they do this shit. Let's be real. They just literally, they can't create stuff that people attach themselves to, so they just come in and ruin everything that people liked before it.
I mean, I played all the Tomb Raider games apart from the newest one, and I don't think she ever had like love interests or anything like that, did she? So
no, she was literally the archetypal kind of like independent female.
Yeah, I'm too busy like shooting dinosaurs in the face and raiding tombs to worry about men, and like nobody gave a fuck. And I think that's why, I mean, a lot of women used to play Tomb Raider as well and things like that. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, this is the thing about media in general. I just don't like that characters. No, I just don't. I just don't like in games. Why do I need to know or see if a character has a relationship at all if it has nothing to do with the game? You know what I mean? It really does not matter. So why are you shoving it in my face?
I suppose from that, it's because like games now are more story focused than they ever were. Like back in the day, you'd kind of just play for a level. So now, because it's story focused, it's like, oh no, we'll make sure it's relevant to the story. I mean, like, I didn't really say anything earlier, but Phoenix Rising's got weirdo shit in it as well.
Phoenix, what game's that?
The game I was on about, Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Oh, Immortals, sorry, yeah.
There's weirdo stuff in that as well, and I'm like,
I didn't get into enough of the game to see any of that.
Grooming the kids, are we?
Oh, no.
Into, like, certain language like people use.
God.
And I was just like,
really?
My fucking eyes, yeah.
Oh, I've never seen any of that.
Obviously, yeah, certain stuff went on, but like certain things where I was just thought they weren't, but You fucking say that. Whatever.
Wow. Okay. I need to find out what this is now. Tell me later.
Just stupid that they're worried more about...
Identification, we'll just say that.
Yeah, I know
saying something when you literally fucking aren't.
Yeah.
I think it's weird they're worried more about ticking all these boxes and trying to get brownie points with all this crap and not actually putting effort into making the product good.
Yeah.
I think, oh, it is good because it's got because Lara Croft's a lesbian now, so if you say the game is shit, you're homophobic and stuff like that. And I think, why do I have to go down that? No one gives a shit. I mean, the Resident Evil Netflix show was absolute fucking trash, most of it. But you can't say anything because if you say anything because Wesker's been race swapped, you're a racist. I'm like, oh fuck! It's just terrible.
Use it as shields, mate. Shields against criticism. You can't criticise it because you're instantly against this or against that, and it's like, no, I'm criticising it because it's shit.
I mean, because it was online. One of the original script writers for the Resident Evil thing who gave it to Netflix years ago, I'm sure he was on Netflix or something. Someone said to him, script he put in was nothing to do with Resident Evil at all.
Oh, wow.
They bought the script of him and just bolted Resident Evil to it. That's why it doesn't feel like Resident Evil. And you've got all this school kid stuff, and they just added the Resident Evil stuff onto it because I thought, oh, well, it'll sell better because it's got Resident Evil on it. Or, you know, more people will watch it. It probably did because I watched it and thought it was pretty crap. No, that's just what they're like now, isn't they? They get all their feedback and stuff off Twitter, and that's just not a good place because Twitter's a terrible place.
Yep.
Oh, Twitter's the worst. It's literally a hive for the mentally insane.
Yeah.
That's what we're all on
there.
10% memes, 10% wholesome content, 80% mental illness. That's Twitter.
I remember when it used to be full of gaming news.
Oh, it was fantastic back in the day.
Yeah.
I've even thought back to the days of, like, obviously when you used to follow people and it was all game. The gaming news stuff's still there.
It's just hidden under a load of politics.
Yeah, it's just all this political shit, and it's just like, I'm not interested. I'm really not fucking interested. You've got, like, tons of people on there that still have TDS 2 fucking years after, like, Biden's in power. And Trump's basically disappeared. They can't fucking let it go. They're still frothing. It's like, Jesus.
You know, I'm loving this new term I heard about a couple of weeks ago, called living rent-free in your mind or in your head. Living rent-free in your head. I just love that because it's so true. Yeah. Anyway, is there any other news? Because those literally the only 2 bits of news I had written down.
Oh, there was something else we forgot to mention. I think it was last week, even though the news probably broke before. You looking forward to the politically correct Grand Theft Auto?
Oh, the... Well, I was actually thinking about this because I know I did see the news where the protagonist is a woman. I've got no problem with that at all.
It makes sense. Like, you switch between multiple protagonists in these games anyway.
Yeah, but so that's what I was gonna. You just read my mind, Darren, because I was thinking, well, in Grand Theft Auto 5 you switch between 3 different characters, and I'm pretty sure in the new one it'll be in a similar fashion. So one of the characters will be a woman, but you might have a couple of dudes or whatever as well. And I don't see a problem with that. I think it'd be quite interesting to see. Also, like a gangster woman or something like that kicking ass. I don't know, but I don't give a fuck, mate.
Well, they could have multiple characters and tick the box for every one.
Oh, they could do, yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
But obviously, the first thing I saw about it was obviously all these magazines doing the usual, oh, the next female protagonist's a woman. You get from all of the gaming outlets and stuff. It's because as soon as most of the news I get from either gaming or TV or film is shit I'm not interested in the fucking slightest. That doesn't tell me what the product actually is. It just highlights some fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You just know they're going to go mad, aren't they? They're just going to go mad saying, oh, Grand Theft Auto provokes violence against women. Look at this. All these police women are shooting this. all these policemen are shooting this woman. It's all sexist. And you think, oh, but you moaned you wanted a female protagonist. Now you've got one. You'll probably moan again.
I'm quite interested to see what they do GTA 6, because it's like playing as a woman. What happens when she goes into a strip club and gets a lap dance and stuff like that? And
that's progress, mate.
But also, because we know how Rockstar's going now, and it's plain to see for everybody. So, I like, my only concern is that we're going to lose a lot of the really good humour that we had in the past Grand Theft Autos. You know, with the silly humour that really just takes the piss out of everybody, right?
I'm sure I read somewhere that although the protagonist is going to be a woman, that they're not going to lose, you know, they're not going to go full woke, and they're not going to lose, like, what in essence a GTA game is.
Well, didn't they take away some jokes in Grand Theft Auto 5 in an update or something because it was offending a certain group of people?
Yeah, they had some lines where if you walked around a certain area, I think they had some transgender people outside a club. Some of the characters like, what the hell are you? Why are you dressed like that, you freak? And stuff like that. So, I kind of get why they take that out, but I don't know. I just hope they do something really mad, like just bring like the hot coffee mod back and just have her having full-blown sex, everything. Just because I just want to see industry melt, because I just think that'd be hilarious. Just Rockstar, just do it, mate. Who gives a fuck?
Regardless of what they do, it'll still sell shitloads of copies.
Of course it will, it's the name.
And they'll bring it out on the PlayStation 8.
And my only other concern with it is, obviously we know how big GTA Online is still. It's been going for years, and how much money they make of it. Like, how is that going to affect GTA 6? Are they going to disregard the main campaign and not make it not as good and just more focus on the online aspect? You know what I mean? There's all these issues that I'm feeling like, because they make more money off the online, that's going to be their focus point, and that's not something that I really play them for.
It's going to be like games as a service, where it'll be added to over time.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
because they did not bring out any story DLC, and I think the actors who played, like Michael, Trevor and Franklin, said that they'd told them they'd planned to make more story DLC, but obviously they were too busy counting all the money from the online shark cards to actually make any more.
I mean, the online is actually pretty fun. You know what I mean? It is decent, but it's just not really been the thing that I'd want to play, but that's just me. But every time I go on it, because I had a little spate of going on it with Hogarth for a while, and we had a blast on there, so I think it's good.
It's one of those games where if you go on there with people, it's cool. If you go on there on your own, you just get like ganked by loads of kids and that, and you're just like, this isn't fun. Like,
yeah, 100%. Any other news? Or are we done?
I'm sure there was a few little bits here and there,
because I didn't ask for any questions this week.
Strange.
So
it just seems strange that the game series that's basically always been about sort of like pushing the boundaries and kind of like taking the piss out of everything is now trying to sort of like toe the line and not offend anyone.
Oh, well,
it's just... There's absolutely no way you can not offend a single person. Like, you can't do it.
It's companies in general now, mate, unfortunately, you know what I mean? And it's a scary world now, you know? I mean, you look at this week...
Just turn the Halon Collider back on and get us back on track.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this week where Apple and Mars had to make grovelling apologies to China just for saying that Taiwan is its own country. Yeah? It's fucking mental. And all the Apple chips that are made in Taiwan and sent to China have to say made in China, Taiwan now. I mean, it's fucked up. And Apple like, yeah, okay, you give us money, we'll fucking do it. You know what I mean?
It's because they've got them over a financial barrel.
Oh, it's mad. It's infuriating, mate, to be honest. It really pisses me off. Yeah. Anyway, that's not even gaming talk. So I think we're probably at the end now, right? I've been going for nearly 2 hours. It's 10:20. I think most people want to chill out and go to bed soon. I think we're going to end it here. It's been awesome as always. Peebs, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a little while. And obviously Nick and Darren, lovely to have you both on as well. So for me, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G.
A resident trophy whore, Mr. Peebs.
And Nick Fights on the Twitter and the Twitch.
And Sensei Switch.
So thank you very much.
Twitch.
So thank you very much. You can find all our social media channels if you on 360gamercast.com. Don't forget, if you want to get an episode every single week of the year, head on over to patreon.com/360gamercast. We can sign up for as little as £5 a month. Apart from that, twitch.tv/Webby360G every Sunday evening, 8:30 PM. You can listen live, joining on the chat, and just have a good fun time. So anyway, thank you very much. We will see you next week. Goodbye.